she's being a little ninja. There's the cell phone charger. Going live in 5. Actually, we're live now. Just one more thing I have to do before we go.
It's gonna hit your builds.
Hey, gotcha. I'm gonna fix a tool.
Kalen, you're the worst spy.
Wanna come? No? Got my tripod ready. Here we go. And my cell phone charger. And the lights are off in here. Click. You do this again. I should set this up before I go live. Meh. What happened? Look at that. Kind of a bad time of day to do this. Sun's coming down right through the windows there. Right through the windows. Don't forget to plug it in. It'll be a short stream. Eesh. Oh, would you look at that? I'm short. Still short. You need to see my roof. If I said I was gonna come in here and fix something, here's the exhaust pipe. I need to fix that. What a fun week. Clear transparency glue for PVC piping. I don't know what makes a difference. What color? Maybe if you can see it after the fact. Garbage. So, we've got some tools here I've been meaning to fix up for a little bit. This one here. I did these a while back. They turned out pretty good. Super sharp. These ones are all seized. Right? So here's ones I've done a while back. I gave them a nice coat of paint. And they do a pretty good job. I like these steel ones with the steel handles because they won't let me down. The plastic ones I've had one pair and they broke. Do I have any metal here? I think so. What do we got? This one's set up for a thinner gauge steel. But you can adjust it by tightening or loosening this bolt. And the trick is to cut straight. I don't even know if I can cut 14 gauge. I don't think so. 14 gauge is a little thick. Most of the metal I have, I order 14 gauge to make helmets and things out of. There, you can see my lovely face a little better. Anyway, I made these already. Oh, here, let's try this. Hunk of brass in the pounding bowl. Hello? Yes? Yeah. Who is it? Oh, yeah. No, it's too thick. Come in. What's up? I'm live streaming.
I'm watching your live stream.
You're watching me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the laptop.
Get out of here. Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door, please. Uh-oh. Well, I did have these built pretty good, but part of me thinks I should fix this before I do the next one. Perhaps the bolt came a little loose. Excuse me.
Is Luna in here?
Pardon?
Is Luna in here?
Luna is not in here.
Oh, I just
Get out of here. You're gonna tip over the camera.
Oh, she's behind me.
Thank you for closing the door.
Bye.
Bye.
Go watch it.
Shut the door. Thank you. These I did a while back too. This one's kind of neat. It's a fender puller. You clip onto something and then you hammer it back. Right? You can clip onto something like this. Can't even see what I'm doing. Good if you're pulling at something, then you can reef down on it too. See? And now it's bent. And this is stiff stuff. This isn't easy, but this is a pretty handy tool. I found it in a scrap bin once. Then I rebuilt it, and then basically this one was easy. It was just a spring roll in here. Nice little jaws on it. I guess I've seen these before with threaded bolts on it. And what you would do, or a nut, and you would screw it into a a slug or a bolt that you would weld onto a surface of sheet metal or something, or just tack it and then screw it on and then give it a pull. But I never saw one of these before I found this one. That's cool. I'm gonna tighten this up, and I'll be done with these. See if I can't make it. So you need a clearance between two shear blades. And I believe they used to call these shears. Depends who you ask. Again, this is too thick. I should have had more preparation. I don't even see any thin steel. I threw it all out because I never use it. Well, it'll cut plastic pretty good now. You should be able to cut up to, like, I don't know. I've used to cut about 50 thou, and they're fantastic. Sheet metal. Hot rolled steel. Or cold rolled steel. What do we got here? I'm missing the tool. Alright, what was I grabbing here? This thing. Now this thing, it was just seized shut the other day. I got it undone. It's got a little clip on the bottom. These ones are seized. If you don't have a shear at home, this is kind of nice. It's got a very unique spring in here. It's a roll spring, but it's flat and it's tapered. It's split. So part of it's one piece and then it splits off in a fork into two directions and it's coiled up inside itself. I think if I pull this off, you can see it. See that? Fantastic little thing. Independent spring. So this side can go down and this side can go down. But if you were to flatten this out, it's just a V. It's a big V shape. Very interesting spring. You won't find those very many places. But this can do for some tune-up. What do we got here? I'm sure I can find myself a my drill. Be right here. What do we got? That's not my drill, that's my impact driver. Don't even know where my drill is. Here's one. Conveniently enough plugged in. What do we got? So these are nice, but I like these the best. Neoprene plastic spinning discs. This one has seen much better days. Oh, it could go on my impact driver too. I'd rather use that. Rather, right, just like now. Use that. Click. Yeesh. cleaning up old tools and fixing them is blasting off the rust or any oxidization they may have on it. We'll take that apart. Yeah, we're going to take this apart real quick here. I also think there's a multi-function here. I'm not sure what it's from. Maybe it's for stripping the end of a wire off. It looks like it was sharpened in here to create a sharp edge that you could pull at. I'm thinking if you had a wire, or something and you put it on here, you could strip it, I'm guessing. We'll try it. We're going to fix it up first and then we'll see. But this may have been like trades guy's favorite tool. Relatively worn, but sharp and on the same. Put the nut on here. Let's get the channel locks. Hope we don't have to use spray. These are nut busters. These are a Channel Lock brand nut buster. Got a weird angle here. It's a bit thicker. This thing has never let me down with a small nut that I cannot handle. Love this one. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. The angle's just a bit steeper than your channel locks, like a regular set. But channel locks, not always the most ideal thing to take apart old tools with, but because a lot of old tools are put together with one side that's round, almost like a rivet, and then threaded on the other end, you have to have a way of grabbing it. But it does put a little damage on the thing. So let's see. Sometimes there's a little sleeve or something. No, this one has got a square hole. This is a square hole nut. But this looks like it was replaced at some point in time. That's just a nut in the vise. But you look, this slug here has got a square section to it right here. And which means, well, it tells me that this was probably from something else before it was put on this, which means the bolt probably snapped off and they had used this to replace it with. So I'm gonna hold on to that. It's not a bad repair job. It kind of looks the same style. But now we've got these two pieces. I can do this. Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
The kids have you on the laptop.
The kids are watching me? Oh yeah. That's great. Motors Forged. Hi kids. I know you're watching. So, this looks like it was spring-loaded too. This spring-loaded thing. Hi Caitlin. I said hi. Hi kids. Hi Caitlin. There you go. Look. This here was spring-loaded. Shut the door, please. Thank you. This was spring-loaded at one point. Maybe it was just to make it detent to stay in this position or click out to stay in this position. It's kind of how it works. Maybe I'll give that a pull back and see. Vices have hard jaws on the teeth here. Most people that I know that work on some things around their garage don't think about that when they put something in their vise and they end up putting teeth marks in whatever they're rebuilding. I have soft jaws. You make soft jaws out of anything. Soft. Oh, that's metal. Yeah, a couple brass ones. Here's a piece of aluminum. Aluminum softer than steel. Plastic softer than aluminum. Brass is softer than steel, so copper works pretty good. Right, and put a couple pieces like this, and then we'll have a nice little gripping surface. that I can tighten up and it won't put the knurl pattern of the vise teeth on the tool that I'm fixing up. Now, there's some critical surfaces you don't want to be buffing or grinding away at. With shears of this style, this whole section here is flat on one side, right? I don't know if you can see that. So this is perfectly flat on this side. And then this gives you a nice profiled edge to create a shear angle, right? Okay, so if this is engineered to be perfectly flat, when I rebuild it, I want this to be perfectly flat. What you want is a nice smooth transition. Like you want there to be two flat surfaces so you can cut it off nicely, whatever you're cutting. But you don't want to grind it. If you grind it, like take a buffer to it or a file, then you need to make it flat again so that when you do put it all back together, it's still perfectly flat. Now, if there's major damages in it, taking it to a stone works pretty good to keep it flat, but not always necessary. That's why I like this plastic brush. It doesn't take much material off, but it's harder than rust or some kind of oxidization here. So I'm gonna finish with this and then move on to the other piece. Kids are in the window, hanging up, knocking on the door. So, all the rust is pretty much off of it. This is when you find out usually if there's a maker's mark or a stamp. It's forged steel from Italy. Looks like HUTUKJN. Hot. URS maybe? KJH. Hoter JKH Forged Steel Italy. I don't know. I could Google it and try to find out some old images. What do I say about this part? I was gonna. Blast the rust off of that. Then I'm gonna pull it up a little bit. Pull it up just a bit. Part of me wants to take this out, but I know if I do, because it's a rivet, I'm going to have a heck of a time trying to put it back. It might just be a nail too, like a bigger headed finishing nail, something like that. Oh, there we go. It's hard to show on video, but it sort of clicks into place a little nicer. All right, so this has been all de-rusted. That looks all right. So, let me see if I got a stone here. Got a whetstone, it's usually full of oil. Remember I said about the one side has to be flat on a pair of hand shears. This way, if there's any burr rolled over from the blade side underneath, you can take it off. I'm looking for a couple of things here. So, what I'm looking here at is what part's getting clean. So there appears to be a little tiny nick here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. It's a little tiny nick in the blade on the back side, which means it was cutting something and it rolled over this way and it didn't break off. So, if I can make that flat, then we're going to have it in much better condition than it was before. But again, like I said, this is a critical surface. It's got to be flat. I can't catch it on my fingernail at all anymore. It's shiny. One more spot. There we go. That's not bad. Now, I want to sharpen it a little bit too, but in order to sharpen it, I'm not going to touch this surface on the back side, which I could do if I was going to face the whole end, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put a sharpen on this. Oop. Use the old red vise. I have rebuilt this red vise a dozen times, but the amount of times I have hit it, injured this vise by smashing things in it, it is in a state of disrepair. Maybe one day I'll fix up the red one. But for now, that's just going to have to work like that. All right, here we go. I'm going to grab a file. Nope. I'm looking for it. Here's one. Don't want to wipe it with my hands, but there we go. I want the round side. This one, I don't know if you can see very well. Nope. So this here is the surface I want to grind, but I don't want to affect the back any. Files only cut one way, and it's very important when you're sharpening a hand tool, even though I might be lazy to drag the other way, what that might do is bend this over that way, then I'll have a high burr on the back side. But if I'm good and behave nicely, and you never want to change this profile. The way it's manufactured, there's probably somebody that figured out the best angle that this should be. So if you keep the same profile, just sharpen it a little bit. One, there's going to be less grinding to do, or filing. Two, you're going to have a fairly good sharpened edge to use when you're finished. Nice. Okay, so I think I've hit that pretty good. I'm going to get a finer file. This one's relatively coarse. I'm going to see if I got a finer file over here. No, I do. I've got everything. So. There we go. Now, because I've pushed the high burr up, this surface isn't going to be flat. And if I run my fingernail here again, can you hear that? It's actually snagging. Oh, there's a good visualization of it. Because I've pushed that material back. Now I want to flatten it off. Back to the stone. flatten the backside. And then hopefully get it all. Couple of small spots. I can feel it grabbing, so we're doing good. And it's vibrating. It's taking off a chunk of a burr. That vibration when I'm dragging it. Go 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 go. Go 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 go. There we go. Quite a bit better. One little spot where the chip was. One spot down here. There we go. That should be okay. Now part 2. That's 1. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Oh, I was gonna look at this part too. There's a piece in here. It looks like it was sharpened in the past. Okay, let me see if I can find a small file for that. Oh, they're right here. I believe if I was doing it, I'd be using a diamond file. Oh, here's one. Let's see. That's close. That's close. There we go. Look at that. So see, I'm sharpening it right to the edge. Let's see. So I'm sharpening it right to this surface here. It's touching down here, and it's touching here at the same time when I'm running my file up. And if this edge is shiny, that means this edge being flat will cause a sharp shearing surface. I'm just going to put the stone on there, and then we're going to test it to see if it's meant to be cut in wire. I'm just assuming that, like I said, I never looked it up on Google or anything. Okay. Yeah, that high burr is gone. Also, what you can do is if you create a burr, you can actually run it on a piece of brass or copper. And what that'll do is it'll remove the high burr. Here. Cool, let me grab a piece of wire. It's too bad I don't have a pair of cutters to catch wire. I got it over here somewhere. Wire. Come on! I didn't throw any wire out lately, have I? Oh, here we go. Here's a piece of wire. The most uninterrupted stream in my life, I'm telling you. Yes, daughter?
This is from The Spy.
The Spy. Thank you. Did I read this? I'm gonna read this. Oh, look at this. Dear Dad, I did all the dishes, but you don't have to pay me unless you want to. Fantastic. That saved me some money. Look at that with the other things. They're giggling. Shut the door! So here we go. If I got that in my hand and I needed to say strip part of this, I put this in here. Yep, that's exactly what I thought would happen. So you should be able to use that surface in your hands. If you got good at it, I'm sure if you put your finger on it and held it, right, you could probably strip a good piece of wire. Yep, see, look, now it's a wire stripper, cutter, all in one. A little bit different than the new products. You know what? If this is my handhold here, and this is how I was meant to hold it, to strip my wire, right? This is almost a more ergonomical position to hold it. My wire strippers, I have to hold the handle down here, squeeze and pinch. When these ones, they put the wire stripping part down here, knowing it would be easier. Look at that. I could probably strip this whole thing with this now. Cool. Cool. Wire trash. Over there somewhere. All right. Let's do the other one. Whoa. Whoa. You know what? I missed my old tripod. But that went missing. So here, we do this one. We're gonna do on this. I'm gonna just buff this a little bit with the drill thing. Yeah. All right. A little bit of buffing. Other side. It's good to me. This has got the other half of that bigger chip. Yep. So the little chip on here is on this one as well. This one is quite a big gouge in it. So what I'm going to do is probably just touch it with the file before I put the stone on it. You know what? Let's use a smaller one. Yeah. There we go. I can just rest the file right on the chips. That's pretty close. I don't want to go all the way to file this surface. Remember, we want that flat. You know what? Probably. That's the fine side. Yeah, so look, you can see the different textures where I've touched it, but it feels pretty flat where it needs to be. Be nice to have a big stone, but I don't sharpen a lot of things, so kind of would be a little bit of a waste. Mimbro! Here we go. Buffing It has uncovered the brand name M-I-B-R-O. Mibro. Or however you would say that. So now I'm at this point. This surface here has been sharpened by hand before, after the manufacturer. I'm gonna sharpen it again because of that chip. Take a file to that. I don't want to sharpen the edge so much. I just want to file the chip down. There, that's as close as I want to go. Look, you can spit on your stones. Lubricate it a little bit. Yuck. You want to keep this knife at the same angle the profile is already carved in. I don't know too much about sharpening knives, but I know this. If this is flat and this is an angle and the knife blade itself, the surface here is a different angle, then you want to keep this angle. You don't want to change this angle, and you don't want to change this. You only want to change, well, you don't want to change it. You only want to decrease the height of this. But if you keep it at the same angle, the cut edge is going to be the same. So I can rock it on my fingers here, and right here I can feel it. I can feel it when it's on that surface. I can feel it when it's on this surface. I can feel it when it's on the flat. 2, 3. Keep the same angle, and you should end up with a product that's going to help you as good as it was when it was new. Maybe better. Who knows? All right. Well, it's pretty sharp. It's not going to cut me, but it's pretty sharp. There's no more burr here. There's no more big chunk taken out. Let me just clean it real quick with the drill one more time, and then look for some paint. Stupid. That looks all right. These stupid adapters. I wish the world didn't have them, but there is an adapter there. That is a pain in the butt to me. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's sharp. That's sharp enough anyway. If we're to put together. Oh yeah, that feels pretty good. Even in my hands, it feels sharper. It makes that sharp sound. All right, so let's get some tape. What am I gonna do here? I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna paint it, but I want to tape off a little bit of it. The tape drawer. Let's tape my stuff. Well, I can use a little hockey tape. You don't want to paint the critical surfaces. The critical surfaces, I would refer to them as the surfaces that need to be the same height and thickness as when you started. So I'm going to tape off everything from like here down on this. From here down. And hockey tape's not the tape to use for that. I need some tape. all my painter's tape goes missing constantly. From here up, maybe? You know what? Screw the tape. I'm gonna paint it by hand. Done it before. Pull it off. And then if I have any surfaces that have paint on it when I've sprayed it, I will remove the paint at that point. But, oh yeah, here's another thing I built a long time ago. See, it's a manual gear driven. Hello? What's this?
You need this?
Yes, thank you. Live streaming a video here.
Not like leave me alone.
Pardon? No, it's not leave me alone. It's just you've never come in when I've ever filmed. Ever. Ever. Why now? Why be different? So this is a thing I built. I ripped it all apart. Putting paint on it might protect the surface from oxidization, but what I like most about it is that it identifies your tools as yours. So this is red color or burgundy that my Mustang was. I've got so much of it left over. I am going to try and see if this works. There. That doesn't look too bad. Look at that. Yeah, I'll definitely just clean off the paint that is in places I don't want. Stay here. Don't move. Oh no! I painted my fingers. Avoid the articulation areas. Since my fingers are already painted, I'll paint part of this. There we go. That looks all right. I'm gonna put this here. Paint away for another day. Paint on my finger. My file's away. Yep, I found another file. Making things with tools. Screwdrivers. I constantly feel like I'm putting things away. But I think what it is when I come out here to do something real quick, I use a bunch of tools and then I leave them. And then I come back and they're still left out. So when I want to use something else later, tools are in the way. Or hockey pucks. Official something hockey puck. Yep, looks like scrap to me. See if this paint's dry yet. Not just yet. A little bit longer. My stone. This is a rag I use to clean my dipstick off with. And your stone should be cleaned. So I have brake cleaner here. That blasts off paint and, or not paint, but yeah, paint for sure. Paint and oil. The problem I have with that is that I need oil on my whetstones. So any oil is okay with me, but it's better if it's oil I already have. So I have marine oil there. Just give this a quick spray and then wipe it off. Hopefully that takes off some of the little chips that it cuts from metal. Oh yeah, brake cleaner smells fantastic. Oh yeah. I know that if I take care of my tools, not only they're gonna last me my entire life, but they're gonna be good when I go to use them. They won't let me down. If they're in my hands every day, I guess it's got a lid. If they're in my hands every day, I don't want them to fail me. When I was a kid, I had bought some cheaper tools. The local Craftsman or Mastercraft tools are fairly good because they're guaranteed for life, but I gotta replace them by bringing them back to the store. And that takes time and money and effort that I would avoid if I just spent a little bit more on a tool that might not break on me, which is also guaranteed for life if it does. So, what do you want to do? You want to spend your time going to a tool store? Because I know what happens every time I go. Every time I go to a tool store to return a tool and get a new one, I end up buying more. Buying more things. Buying more things and stuff. Excuse me. Boom, boom. There we go. Paint's drying this. Let's see. So there's a couple spots here that I could remove the paint from. I have done a lot of repairs on a lot of hand tools in my life. Now that oil is in the stone, wipe off the excess. I can use it. But it's always nice buying new tools. It's always like my favorite thing. Like some of the most fun I've had shopping or going to a store or anything is buying tools in the store. Something I like, imagining what I can use it for, thinking about what it could be done with. Oh, I could do this project if I only had this tool. Why don't I buy this tool and then I could do this project? But sometimes I never get around to doing that project. Yeah. Just removing a little overspray from the critical surface. Making sure that's nice. That's nice. This is nice. This is nice. There we go. Where's the other one? Right here. Let's see. That's the knife blade side. That's not. But let's just make sure. I think I did a better job painting this one. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. That's functional. Feng shui. Feng shui old. Wales. Okay, here comes the stone. Drawer number 3. Piece this together here now. What should I do with this? Did not damage it too bad. Maybe just a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Buff it up some. Same with this. Like I said, this is a replacement bolt from who knows how long ago, but it doesn't mean it's not the right one. Just means it's different. Does not go in that side. Goes in this one. These holes are different. One's slightly bigger. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Nut tester. Maybe it just did that. Sure, we got every wrench in the world in here. Wrench number 2. 3/8. There. Made in Italy, long time ago. When did Italy go metric? So, might be a 10 mil. Looks like a 10 mil. Here we go. Tighten this up a little bit. What's going on here? Might just do this. Put it in the vise. Give it a little snuggy wug. I think this is a crush nut or something. I don't mean the nut's crushed. I mean a nut that is a locking nut by design because of how the threads are cut or because of how it's crimped after it's been cut to cause an interference fit with the threads. Oh, that feels so nice. Look at that. Okay, I wonder if you can hear that. It feels like brand new scissors. Oh. Oh boy. Look at this. A cut paper. Oh. Look at that. It never cut paper before. Garbage. Let's get this spring. Put the spring back in. This way. Really should get rid of this tree stump, or at least remove it. Ah! So there we have it. Oh, you know what? Where's that wire? Here's a piece. So not only does it cut paper, it cuts the wire itself. See? Oh. Right? It'll cut paper, cut wire. Over here, does it reach? Nope, doesn't quite reach. That would be neat if it did. What is the hole for? There's a hole here. Oh, it's got a wire cutter here too. Just a much smaller one. Like a multi-function tool. I like it. Let's clean this part here up. Looks good to me. Dang. There we go. Another tool for the box, all cleaned up, tuned up. If I need it, I know I can grab it. Go right to work with it. Well, there's that. That one. Right there. Yep. Well, that was fun. Always seem to be putting stuff away. Maybe if I keep doing this, I'll end up with a nice clean garage. Not likely. Marker. What to do, what to do. That's nice and flat. Look at this. This one I had divots in for rivets. Sitting rivets in here, but it's not as good as if I had the block. This block. I will definitely be fixing this vise at some point in time in my life. Like, look, the jaws are falling off. Like, if you look at it, seriously. Look, these things aren't even the right size nuts. This has been unscrewed inside from the back. I got a couple of washers at the store one day to put them in because it's like, it's spring loaded, but it's a lot of tension, right? This, I need countersunk screws. I think they'd be 1/4 20s. Just easier to have put another one over here like I did. I had this one lying around forever on the floor. Needs nothing. Needs nothing. This, for the longest time, if I was putting something in the vise, I would put this here, hold it, put it in, and then tighten it up. It does not seem right at all. Anyway, maybe I'll fix it some other day. I think I'm gonna go and get myself some couch time. Play some games with the kids. See? Like this. That's normally how it sits anyway. Cool. Alright. Thanks for watching. I at least had some motivation to do something in the garage at this time. If I videotape it, I can actually be in here doing it for a reason, not just because it's a job I have to do. Oh, and check this one out. This one's cool. We should fix this one next time. Give it a nice coat of paint. Make sure it's functional. And these are stuck. These suck because they stuck shut. Ah! Here we go. We'll probably take a look at those too. I think I should do half a dozen of these videos. They take a while, but I mean, you might learn something. And at least I can document some knowledge before I die. Oh, okay, bye. Again, I don't even know how to end this. Stupid YouTube.